meeting on the 26th of February. I welcome everybody here in the public, media in the back room. Appreciate you being here. At this time, if you would, silence any electronic devices you may have. Let me check mine. There. And if you would like to speak in front of the council, we have some yellow sign-up sheets outside the door you need to fill out and get to the city clerk, and then we'll allow you to speak at the appropriate time. This is a special meeting, so we didn't have a chaplain scheduled to lead the invocation, but I will call on Councilman Cox to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I'll call on everybody to sign in, please. And we have all 5 councilmen here, voting councilmen, and we also had the mayor, city clerk, city attorney, and most of our department heads. We understand that the massive flu hit our public services department, so they're wiped out. They'll be back, though. Gentlemen, would you look at the agenda? If we don't have any objections to it, could I get a motion to approve it?
So move.
Second.
Okay, moved and second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Okay, so we're going to keep with the agenda, which means we only have the ordinances listed in item 6. That's all we're going to have on tonight's agenda. But we will allow anyone that's in the audience who wants to speak about any of those. Is it 5? Yeah, 5 ordinances. If anybody in the audience would like to speak about those, now's the opportunity to do so. I don't see anybody interested in doing so. So we're going to move right on to the items. If we can have ordinance 1639 read by our city clerk, I'd much appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordinance number 1639 reads by title. An ordinance annexing to the city of Crestview, Florida, 100-plus acres of contiguous lands located in Section 30, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, and being described as set forth herein, providing for authority, providing for land description, providing for boundary, providing for land use and zoning designation, providing for amendment to the base land use and zoning maps, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, providing for filing with the clerk of Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, the chief administrative officer of Okaloosa County, and the Florida Department of State, providing for a repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the first reading of ordinance number 1639.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And Ms. Teresa, if you would explain that to us.
Okay. Teresa Gaylord, Growth Management Department. This is the first reading of annexing the property that the council had requested that's near the spray field. So I guess we'll just run through so it'll all be on the record. City of Crestview's Growth Management Department, upon the request of City Council, has submitted the application requesting the annexation into the jurisdictional limits of the City of Crestview, filing a comprehensive plan amendment to the comprehensive plan, and the assignment of the zoning designation for the 100 acres in Section 30, Township 3 North, Range 23 West. There are 3 parcels and 2 roadways involved in this particular piece of property. You have a small map of it in the last page of your ordinance. It abuts the spray field. It runs out 3MC Lane and Retta Road. To the east, you have county mixed use. To the south, county mixed use. To the west, public lands within the city of Crestview. And to the north, county LDR. The zoning is county mixed use to the east and south, and their existing uses being timberland. To the west, it's actually zoned agricultural, and it is a municipal spray field. To the north is agricultural, which is timberland. We are requesting that public lands, future land use, and public land zoning district be assigned to the property. Now, a portion of the site has been developed as part of the adjacent sanitary sewer treatment facility, and together with the infrastructure that would support the same. Currently, the future development of a gun range for the Crestview Police Department is being planned on the eastern 20 acres west of Retta Lane. The facility will be serving the city of Crestview, will be served by the city of Crestview utility for potable water, sanitary sewer, and garbage services. The property actually is in floodplain X, and it's determined to be outside of the 500-year floodplain. The staff recommends adoption of the ordinance and first reading and pass it on to the second hearing in our next public meeting.
Thank you, Teresa. We all know what this is because we requested it, but are there any comments or questions? Could I have action then, please?
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead.
I move to adopt ordinance 1639 on the first reading and move to second reading.
Second.
We had a tie. You have a choice, City Clerk.
No. Choices.
We have a motion second to adopt ordinance 1639 on first reading and move to second reading. Any further discussion? If not, please go to voting. And it's a unanimous 5-0 to annex that property. Madam Clerk, if we could have you read ordinance 1640 now?
1640, ordinance number 1640 reads by title. An ordinance annexing to the city of Crestview, Florida, 2.7 plus or minus acres of contiguous lands located in Section 4, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, and being described as set forth herein, providing for authority, providing for land description, providing for boundaries, providing for land use and zoning designation, providing for amendment to the base land use and zoning maps, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, providing for filing with the Clerk of Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, the Chief Administrative Officer of Okaloosa County, and the Florida Department of State, providing for repealing of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the first reading of ordinance number 1640.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You have the floor, Teresa.
City of Crestview Growth Management, on request by the City Council, has submitted the applications requesting the annexation into the jurisdictional limits of the City of Crestview, filing a small-scale plan amendment to the comprehensive plan and assignment of the zoning designation to the 2.7 acres situated in Section 4, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, Okaloosa County, Florida. The property to be annexed is contiguous to the city limits on its western boundary, and it is being adjacent to and developed as part of the Spanish Trail Park. It is utilized as part of the grass parking and the stormwater retention pond for the park. The current Okaloosa County future land use classification for this parcel is low-density residential and R1, which it means 1 unit of residential structure for the zoning designation. The future land use categories and zoning designations for the surrounding property are: to the east and to the north, county low-density residential; to the west, public lands, city of Crestview; and to the south, low-density residential. The zoning for the east and the north is county R1. To the south is city R2, which is a residential designation. West is public lands, which has a municipal existing use. The application requests the assignment of public lands, future land use, and public lands zoning designation. Currently, there are no plans to further extend or develop this site, as it was developed as part of the adjacent Spanish Trail Park. The property lies in flood zone X, which is determined to be outside of the 500-year floodplain. Staff recommends adoption of ordinance 1640 on first reading and forward to second reading.
Any comments, questions? I'll call for action, please.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
I move to adopt ordinance 1640 on the first reading and move to the second reading.
Second.
We have motion second to adopt ordinance 1640 on the first reading and move to the second reading. Any further discussion?
It
Not
says
please.
41 on here.
No, look, we got.
That's the next one.
You're on C.
That's not it.
You okay?
Yeah, we're good. You're on C.
Right, please go to voting. 5-0, motion carries. Now, Madam Clerk, ordinance 1641, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordinance number 1641 reads by title. An ordinance annexing to the city of Crestview, Florida, .50 plus or minus acres of contiguous lands located in Section 20, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, and being described as set forth herein, providing for authority, providing for land description, providing for boundary, providing for land use and zoning designation, providing for amendment to the base land use and zoning maps, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, providing for filing with the clerk of Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, the chief administrative officer of Okaloosa County, and the Florida Department of State, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the first reading of ordinance number 1641.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Teresa?
Petition was submitted by Armando D. Bordon and Jr. and wife Virginia R., who are now the property owners of the parcel described in the warranty deed recorded in book 3220, page 3866 of the public records. It is located at 220 Dugan Avenue, and they petitioned for water service July 27, 2017. City of Crestview hereby concluded that said property lies within the water service territory of the city. The property is contiguous to the corporate limits of the city of Crestview. The executed petition and agreement allowed for annexation. Also, the water concurrency available is sufficient on behalf of the city to meet the demands of the petitioner and provided by the Crestview Comprehensive Plan. The council passed Resolution 1712 on August 14, 2017, which allowed for the out-of-city water service to be provided. No items of protest against the resolution was submitted during the period provided for public protest. The petitioner has paid the utility fees associated with the cost of providing water to the property as per the executed municipal services agreement and has submitted application and payment for the annexation, comprehensive plan amendment, and rezoning of the property. The staff recommends adopting ordinance 1641 on first reading and moving to second reading.
Comments, questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead.
on the background, I don't know if it makes any difference for the record, but it shows Armando T. Bordon Jr. and wife Virginia R. Bourbon. One is Bordon, one's Bourbon, which is correct.
Bourbon.
Bourbon,
I think that's correct. We will revise for the agenda item for the second reading, if it should so go.
Any other comments, questions? Question I have is, was this property not contiguous when they applied back in August with the city?
No, that was contiguous.
Right.
It was contiguous.
Right. Why wouldn't they have done that at the time? Why wouldn't they have annexed in at the time we gave them water and sewer?
Because they were in the middle of setting a home on the property. The home had to be since they were in the middle of
Okay, I
setting the
just wanted
home,
to
it had to go ahead and be set up, and they run into some problems setting the home so that they could not get their approval.
I just wanted to know what the delay was from August.
Yeah, if it had been a brick and mortar, they would have applied and built it in the city.
All right, good. Any other discussion? Action, please.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Blocker.
I move to adopt ordinance 1641 on first reading and move to the second reading.
Second.
Motion and second
Reese.
to adopt ordinance 1641 on first reading and move to second reading. Any further discussion? Please go to voting. All right, unanimous vote again. Now we move on to ordinance 1642, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, ordinance number 1642 reads by title. An ordinance annexing to the city of Crestview, Florida, 63 plus or minus acres of contiguous lands located in sections 35 and 36, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, and being described as set forth herein, providing for authority, providing for land description, providing for boundary, providing for land use and zoning designation, providing for amendment to the base land use and zoning maps, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, provided for filing with the Clerk of Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, the Chief Administrative Officer of Okaloosa County, and the Florida Department of State, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the second reading of ordinance number 1642.
Thank you, Madam
Okay.
Clerk. Teresa, you're on.
Application for the annexation, conventional comp plan amendment, and rezoning have been submitted by Thomas Lewis Young as trustee of the Thomas Lewis Young Revocable Trust, who are the property owners of the 40 acres located on Garrett Pitt Road. Mr. Young has worked for the last decade in accumulating enough property contiguous to the city to annex his development into the city. So this is a happy reading that we're actually doing tonight. The property owners plan to develop single-family residential home subdivision to be known as Cherry Brook. The property is contiguous to the corporate limits of the city and therefore eligible to be considered for annexation. The discussion with Public Services, water and sewer are available and insufficient to meet the demands of the new development. The demand for affordable single-family homes is on a rise in Crestview. Phase 1 of Cherry Brook development will provide approximately 100 homes. And I do need to bring this point forward. I discussed with Public Services today. If you will turn to your location map, if you see the word where it says Point Center Road, there's a small parcel above Point, P-O-I-N-T. I was informed that they should be closing in the next day or so on that particular piece of property, and that will become the city of Crestview's property with a water well to be established there, hopefully. So it will, however, it will not create an enclave in order for that particular piece that the city is purchasing to be annexed into the city, at which time we own it and decide to annex it. So there will not be a conflict between the two. Is there any questions?
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
Oh.
Clark.
My question is on, relative to Garrett Pitt Road. Is that county or city responsibility, maintenance?
Sir, we have researched that diligently, and we have come to a conclusion. The portion of Garrett Pitt Road was deeded over. If you're up around Whitehurst Lane, that small portion there, this page, is county responsibility. However, the remainder, 2,100 feet, was actually deeded to Okaloosa County by, I think it's Hal, and I don't remember the other man's name, but this Okaloosa County had never accepted it into their maintenance scheduling and their maintenance program. So therefore, it was rather like Redstone Commons, the Redstone Road that went out to Redstone Commons and Redstone Estates, where that it had been deeded to them, but it was never accepted. And that's one of the reasons that the city of Crestview actually ended up with portions of the Redstone East. However, in talking with Okaloosa County, they are going to add this Garrett Pitt Road into the county road maintenance system so that it will be a regular maintained road as any other county road would be. Therefore, the roadway permits, connection permits, would have to be obtained by Mr. Young from Okaloosa County, as it will be their roadway. Any future paving that would work out with Garrett Pitt Road, where that there would be some type of encumbrance on the development or some type of agreement, such as they do for their mitigation with their traffic fees and such when you go into their connection with their roadways. That will be at the county level, which will also be the same fact from a subdivision that y'all will see in the near future, which is an extension of Taylor Farms, which is on the east side of Garrett Pitt Road.
Yes, Mr. Hayes.
Mr. President, just for our clarification, so, on ordinance 1642, on D, it says, 53 plus or minus acres. Then I turn over to background,
I'm
says
sorry, it
40.
doesn't, there needs to be a clarification because when it was first submitted, it was 1 acreage, but if you calculate it up, he is only allowed about 40 acres. So
So the ordinance needs to be revised.
the,
Or the
yeah,
number?
the, and what they said was to bring forth that in the reading of the ordinance, it would be the 40 acres. If we desire to have the ordinance reread again at first reading, we can do that at the first meeting in March. But we had already published the instrument out when we found out that we could not annex parcel 5. If you're looking at your map, parcel 5 is the very end parcel. There is a divider in between there of wetlands
Okay.
that will not allow a viable connection. So,
Now, my question is, and I guess legal would be answer that, does that plus or, well, it says plus or minus, so if you go minus, it'd be less than the 63, but it's allowable, allowed. In the ordinance, if we say plus or minus 63, but it's actually 40. We'd have to change that, or could we leave it with the 63 plus or minus and go back down to the minus number, which would be 40?
when you have, let me tell you the law of surveying first. The law of surveying is the up and down a character for the decimal. As this is in the ones place, you up or down in ones.
I think it should have the correct acres.
It,
Should have what now?
I think if it's 40 acres, it shouldn't say in the ordinance that it's 1.50 acres.
no, it says 63, but that's what we sent the written document out with. If the board wants to physically acknowledge the acreage, or if you would like me to bring it back on the first reading in March.
I think we should have it brought back with the correct acreage for our first reading.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, we have ordinance 1643 read, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's ordinance number 1643 reads by title. An ordinance annexing to the city of Crestview, Florida, 1.5 plus or minus acres of contiguous lands located in section 32, township 3 north, range 23 west, and being described as set forth herein, providing for authority, providing for land description, providing for boundary, providing for land use and zoning designation, providing for amendment to the base land use and zoning maps, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, providing for filing with the Clerk of Circuit Court of Okaloosa County, the Chief Administrative Officer of Okaloosa County, and the Florida Department of State, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the first reading of ordinance number 1643.
Thank you, Madam
Okay.
Clerk. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, in here, you're also going to notice a 1.36 quote. That was the acreage shown in your out-of-city municipal water agreement. That was prior to the complete survey of the land. We're going with 1.5 acres because that is what is in the final as-built survey of the project itself. That is not out of the norm. Panhandle Preschools LLC by Sean Riley, managing member, has submitted the applications requesting annexation into the jurisdictional limits of the city of Crestview Filing a small-scale amendment to the comprehensive plan and assignment of the zoning designation for, and in the 1.36 acres required in the out-of-city municipal services agreement and in Resolution 15-10. The property is situated in the southwest quadrant of the intersection of John King Road and Live Oak Church Road. The parcel is situated in Section 32, Township 3 North, Range 23 West, Okaloosa County, Florida, and is contiguous to the city limits on its northern and western boundaries and a portion of its southern and eastern boundaries. The current Okaloosa County future land use classification is mixed use and carries the mixed use zoning. The property around there is, to the east is city, and to the east and the south is city and county mixed use, zoning city and county mixed use with warehouse and residential existing uses. To the west is commercial future land use and commercial one zoning, which is community shopping. To the north is city commercial and LDR with C1 and R1 zonings. And the application shows the commercial future land use and the commercial zoning designation will be on the property being annexed. The site is completely fully developed. There is an 8,950 square foot facility for daycare services together with the parking and infrastructure for same. It is currently occupied by the Child Care Daycare Network, and the facility is serviced by City of Crestview utilities for potable water, sewer, and garbage services. It is in flood zone X, which is outside of the 500-year floodplain.
And your recommendation?
I'm sorry. Recommendation to adopt ordinance 1643 on the first reading and move it to second reading.
Any comments or questions?
I have a question, just
Yeah, go
one
ahead, Mr. Hayes.
clarification. Mr. Reese, on this, John King Road, and looking at the map I have, that plot that's, blacked and, that's plotted out on the left-hand side of, John King Road, what is that?
That's an enclave, sir.
Oh, okay. And the reason I asked, because when I was campaigning, I didn't know where our property was up here. A city property, and it was a difficult task trying to locate who I could talk to or not. Okay, so it's everything on John King except till we get to this little part where we're talking about right now is county or
No, this is all city. This will carry the city boundary all the way around to where your dark line ends, just down from Water Oak Lane.
yeah. And that
So-
that inside the Live Oak Church Road is what?
It
Inside the
is-
dark lines.
Where it says Live Oak Church Road, that area is located county. If you drop
Okay.
down to where the little driveway connects, that begins city.
Okay, no wonder I can know where I'm supposed to go. Okay.
Mr. Cox?
Yeah, along with Councilman Hayes said on that property, which you said is an enclave, are you
Yes, sir.
going to address that issue soon?
We will bring forth what we can with enclaves. Annexation is voluntary, and we have no mechanism for forcing enclaves to enter in unless they somehow deem need for our services. We can write them a letter, we can address it, we can offer it, but in reality, they do have to put forth a voluntary effort. This, I tell you, is the last enclave along John King. If you remember, we've annexed several, and a few years ago, the little tip point was what you annexed in to complete the South Crest Lane. So we're working away, killing them off one at a time, but this is the way this is.
You done, Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have action, please?
Mr. President,
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Cox.
I move to adopt ordinance 1643 on first reading and move to second reading.
So
Second.
A motion second to adopt ordinance 1643 on first reading and move to second reading. Any further discussion? Please go to voting. And unanimously accepted. And I believe those are, those are ordinances for this evening. So this time a call for anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the city council on any matter, whether it's on the agenda or not. I'll give you 3 minutes if you need to come up and speak to any issue. I don't see any issues, and therefore, I'm going to adjourn this meeting so we can open our next meeting. Thank you all for coming.